Henry Burris TV is brought to you by Hockey Central Sports Memorabilia, Sylvan Lake, and Supreme Menswear, simply the best. Okay, as we go into playoffs, let's look at some of the trouble quarterback spots going into the playoffs. And first thing you have to look at is Winnipeg, because they don't know what's going to happen. Because do you go with Brink or do you go with the often injured Buck Pierce?
Well, right now it's Buck's team. So if Buck's injured, he has to play. I mean, Alex Brink has shown a lot of great flashes that he's going to be a great quarterback one day. But right now, this is still Buck's team. And as long as it's his team, you got to give him a chance. He gives them the best opportunity to be successful. He's allowed them the opportunity to get into the playoffs as far as doing his job, being a part of the team. And also, he's the guy who has the experience of playing in these playoff pressure-type games, and he's responded well in the games against the Montreal. It's the tough games that they really need to win this year. So when it comes down to it, they need their leader, they need Buck, but first of all, they need him injury-free and healthy.
So they're basically writing this weekend off.
Well, I mean, right now you can't really just write it off, because in order.
But aren't they what they're doing? Hoping to keep him out so he's healthy for the playoffs.
But they need to win this game.
Sure.
I mean, for some reason they feel that with Alex they can win the game. But it also gives Alex a chance to prepare for a week, to get himself ready, study the film, and know that he's the guy going into the game, which gives Buck a chance to get healthy for the postseason. But the number one thing is, in this whole key here, is that they're hoping that Alex can show the flashes that he's shown throughout the regular season against Montreal a few weeks ago when he brought the team back. And if it wasn't for coming up short on the quarterback sneak in Winnipeg, they had a chance to possibly win.
Sure.
Like I said, he's shown flashes. So if he's able to go out against Calgary and perform well and do some good things, who knows what can happen. But right now, like I said, that's still Buck's team. He's the guy they brought in. They anointed him the leader for them into the future. But Alex Brink has done a great job of coming in when asked to do so, and he's led the team to what has been a few victories, and almost some huge victories as well as that.
When you look at the situation in Hamilton, all year we've been saying this is a 500 football club, and that's what they've proven all year. It looks like they're going to make strides, and they come back. One step forward, two steps back. Now they're going to the dual quarterback system. Have they given up on Kevin Glenn, and is Porter good enough to be a regular there?
Well, as a quarterback, I'm biased on this one, because to me, a two-quarterback system is always the appetite for destruction. Because, if you believe in me, just give me the ball and let me go. That's what I always believe in. I know other quarterbacks believe in that same moxie as well, because us quarterbacks, we just don't walk with confidence. We walk with a swagger. You see what I mean? We're above the Old Spice man, the man's man. He might say those things, but we actually do them. That's how we approach the game. And we feel if you can't give us that confidence to play a whole game and lead your team, then something's missing. And that's what the statement I look at it as. That, we believe in these two guys, but we don't believe that they can do it for 60 minutes. Well, it's kind of a change of pace for them, and they've had success with it.
Sure.
They almost beat Montreal 2 weeks ago. They won a big game a couple weeks ago as well, with both of those guys playing and switching off time as far as them playing both together. Of course, last week it didn't work so well in Saskatchewan. So, of course, back to the drawing board. Hopefully they can come up with a new game plan to get them ready for the Argos. But it will be a tough game for them to finish out on, because Toronto's been playing well. They won a couple of straight games in Winnipeg and also against the Stamps. So we're going to see how it closes out. And this will be the icing on the cake for them in a good way or a bad way, to see how this ends in the regular season going into the playoffs.
So we have Winnipeg and Hamilton, two questionable marks as they go into the playoffs for quarterbacks. So I suppose the question, people around the league could ask, would either of those teams be looking at a qualified veteran quarterback that had a strong arm and a will to play, should such an item or such a person ever come on the free market? Hypothetically, I suppose those would be two logical choices for such a person, if there was such a person in the CFL.
Well, David Archer did call and said he's coming out of retirement, as well as Chris Vargas and Jimmy Kemp. Those guys are coming back.
Very good.
I saw Danny McManus. He might actually take his statue out of Hamilton in the Hall of Fame. I think he's coming back as well. But yeah, I think those guys will be very interested in those places, looking at they need quarterbacks, right?
Just a thought.
You booger, you.